Welcome, everyone. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world and your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. That beautiful chant by Ali Halpert always reminds me that loosening is an option, even in times when it feels like tightening is really the only option available. Sometimes loosening also might be available. And in Parshat Bo, here we are with really the epitome of tightening. Right at the beginning of our parsha, Vayomer Hashem el Moshe, Bo el Paro. God says to Moses, come to Paro, come to Pharaoh. Ki ani hichbadati et libo, for I have made his heart heavy, kaved, ve'ed lev avadav, and I've made the heart of his servants or followers heavy. And I think about what it means to feel heavy of heart, heavy of heart. And so what I wanted to do in our practice today is just to experiment with what it might be like to intend softness of heart. In almost all of the verses in Exodus where we hear about Pharaoh's hardened heart, we have three different verbs that go along with his hardened heart. But almost always, after hardening his heart, we hear in the Hebrew, velo shama, and he wouldn't listen. A hardened heart is not only a heart that can't listen, but a whole person who has shut themselves off. The hardening means that we are no longer porous. We can't hear, we can't accept, and that means that we are less able to respond skillfully and flexibly. So what might it mean to keep a soft heart? To be able to still listen? I want to invite you just into whatever posture that you will be taking for our practice. Whether you're sitting, whether you're standing or lying down. Maybe some of you are driving and listening to this, either live or later as a recording. Wherever you are right now as you listen to this, just noticing your posture, noticing how your body is aligned, noticing the truth of the experience in the body just at this moment, and allowing it to be just as it is without needing to fix it or change it, correct it, just being where you are, as lovingly and non-judgmentally as is available. And in that, just welcoming you to have the intention to soften. Maybe on the out breath, soften. Noticing in the body physically if there's any place that just can be released, whether it's your jaw or your neck or your shoulders. Soft, soften. Noticing if there's any place where your body's making contact with the earth, or a chair, or a cushion. Just releasing into that contact softly, gently, tenderly. And if it works for you, I'd like to invite you just to bring a hand to your heart with the intention of just bringing support, just allowing whatever is there physically in your body, emotionally on your heart, just allowing it to be there with your hand just as an emissary of care and love and softness and tenderness, permission, allowing us to be exactly as we are in this moment with the witness of the hand. The late and much missed poet Andrea Gibson wrote, "I decided I was too soft to last, but then I decided to be even softer." What might happen if we just stay for a while with the softness of our hearts, open and listening compassionately, softening judgment, softening need for response, just being softer. We'll sit. allowing softness, releasing into softness. What does it mean? What does it feel like? What are the sensations of softening the body, softening judgment, returning to the anchor of attention softly? Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. And a short fragment from James Crewe's poem, Try Softer. Honor wherever you are, whether the door to your life has blown off its hinges, or you find the simplest joy sitting in a patch of winter sun on that corner of the carpet where you love to stretch. Try softer, not harder. Giving yourself a safe place to land your attention, resting in this threshold. I am grateful for this community, for your attention and your practice, and I hope that together we can soften the heart so we can listen to the still small voice speaking just to us and act more courageously and more clearly in this world. With gratitude to Mark and Rachel, and also to Dr. Stuart Sigmund. May your mother, Pauline, always be for a blessing.
As always, thank you so much, Rabbi Dorothy Richman, today especially for helping us loosen and soften hearts that are so hardened, so easily hardened by the world in which we're living. And friends, let's bring some of that beautiful energy to create a space that can hold the grief and pain of those among us who are mourners, whether you're a mourner or observing a yard site at this time, or if you're someone who joins in the mourner's Kaddish as a custom, we welcome to do that. You can put the name or names of those you're honoring today. It's always beautiful to see these names, some of whom we know, some of whom we don't know, but all of whom we're including in this concluding prayer to seal our practice today. So if you're reciting Kaddish, please join me by rising in body or in spirit. And if you're not reciting Kaddish, please stay present to support those who are. And if you are reciting Kaddish, you can unmute at this time. Yitkadal,
Kadash Merabah, Antivar Diute, Leoviv, Tite, all of your medical vehicle, Adala Vismanisram, Amen. Yesh Merabah Bavorah, Barach Vishtabach, Rabbi Aseh, Aseh Levi Talash Ela min kobe fatav fatav v'nechamata Shlama Rabbi Mishimaya Aleinu v'Kol Yisrael Shalom B'Marav Say Shalom V'Kol Yisrael V'Kol
Amen.
Shalom b'mirav huyash. Shalom aleinu v'kol Yisrael. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Friends, if you're leaving us now, I want to invite you to join us tomorrow and Friday. We'll be here tomorrow and Friday. Tomorrow, Rabbi Jordan Ben-Dada will be leading us in practice. And on Friday, Rabbi Benjamin Ross. We have just a beautiful week of practice this week. So thanks for joining us. Thanks to Rachel for holding our tech space, and to Rabbi Dorothy Richman for leading us again so beautifully today. And again, to Dr. Stuart Sigmund, who's here. Thank you, Stuart, so much for sponsoring our practice. Zichronah livracha, may your mom's memory always be a blessing for you. Um, Friends, one thing I also didn't mention, which is I just want to let you know that on this Shabbat morning, in case you're interested, um, I'll be co-leading one series of periodic mindfulness services at Congregation B'nai Jeshurun with Rabbi Shuli Passow and Cantor Dave Mintz. And you can access that online if you're not in New York. If you're in New York, hope you'll join us. It's 9:15 on Shabbat morning, and it takes place so fittingly in the Rabbi Rachel Cowan Chapel at BJ. So I'm going to put the link in the chat for that. You're welcome to join us for conversation. If you have a question for Rabbi Dorothy, please put it in the chat. I'll try to work it into the conversation. You also have the option of just turning off the sound on your device. Just keep sitting here with us and attending to the condition of your heart right now. Either way is fine. So I'll keep an eye out for your questions and try to work those in. Dorothy, as always, many, many thanks to you. This issue of the hardness of Pharaoh's heart is, obviously a perennial thing, and we are living in a time where we're like just witnessing so many scenes of hardened hearts, right? And of efforts to soften hardened hearts. And how do you meet a hardened heart? And I'm not sure where I want to go with this, but the you started with that wonderful song by and ended with the wonderful song by Ali Halpert, "Loosen, Loosen." I was imagining Moshe singing that song to Pharaoh, which even has the "Let go, let go, let go" line, which is great. Um, Thinking about how to meet both the hardness in our own hearts and the hardness in other hearts, and what's the practice for softening a hardened heart. And there's something paradoxical, like in the Torah, Pharaoh's heart gets progressively hardened. Like the first five plagues, it actually describes him as hardening his own heart, and then God kind of turns the screws. But the thing that's interesting about the line that you shared is that the verb that's used has that root kaf vet dalet, which can mean like make heavy. Like I think your translation you have was make heavy through stubbornness, heavy with stubbornness. Yeah. But it's a root that also is associated with the word kavod, honor or respect. So there's something about honoring the heart in some way. I don't know what to make of that. I just wanted to it, I kind of noticed that for the first time today to say something about honoring the heart. Here it's used as a euphemism for making it heavy because it also has that connotation of making it heavy, but it has that kind of dual meaning also of honoring it in some way. So I guess I'm asking you two questions. Well, let me separate the questions. One question is when we encounter a hardened heart, whether it's ours or another's, um, this practice today seemed to be to meet that by softening. Is that the prescription?
Well, softening, it's kind of like when you are upset and somebody says, calm down. And that's like so unhelpful
Yeah.
because the whole point is you're not calm,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like if you could have regulated better, you would have,
Mm-hmm.
So I think that really what softening means is trying to bring love and compassion and acceptance to the moment,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's how softening I think that's what the mechanics of softening are. I was going to do it with everyone, but there's this great exercise that David Tree-Levin does. Maybe I'll just take a second to do it. It
Yeah,
just shows
please.
perfectly what
Great.
this happens. So if people want to take their left hand and just make a really tight fist, and this fist is your protection. It's
Mm-hmm.
your body and your mind saying, this is what I need to stay safe.
Mm-hmm.
And now take the other hand and try to open it and see what that feels like and what that's like. Okay? Now shake everything off, make the fist again, but in this other hand, pour in love and care. and know that the point of this hand is just to support the other hand in doing what it needs to do, and
Mm-hmm.
just kind of overlay it
Mm-hmm.
and just see what naturally happens to the hand,
Mm-hmm.
right? It just lets go a little bit, not the whole way. Doesn't open because it's not appropriate for it to open,
Mm-hmm.
but it can relax in the presence of support that's not trying to break it apart, that's not
Mm-hmm.
trying to make it be something else, that's just coming alongside. So I think that's what the idea of softening is.
Mm-hmm.
What I tried to kind of walk us through was if you just say soften, it's like saying calm down,
Right.
right? But if you say, like, come alongside what is true, allow it to be there and support it, to
Mm-hmm.
be as it is, it will probably change, right? And that's what a hard heart is. A hard heart is a heart that can't change. And just one more word about this, the whole point of the heart is a muscle of the circulatory system, right? Like it it moves oxygenated air through
Mm-hmm.
our body and pumps
Mm-hmm.
it. So if it's
Mm-hmm.
hard, it can't pump.
Mm-hmm.
So all of this, you know, we know what happens to hardened hearts,
Mm-hmm.
right? Only too well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all of this is just allowing things to move that need to move and allowing things that need to stay.
Yeah. Well, let me flip the question around then also too. That is a great exercise. And for people who don't know, David Trelevin is an expert in trauma-informed meditation practice. You might want to check him out. Um, do you think there are times for hardening the heart? Um, when I mean, you know, what this exercise, the practice today is like really beautiful practice, especially coming off of MLK weekend, because I think my understanding, my sense is that he modeled kind of meeting hardness by with love, you know, with love and compassion, and that's the answer to hate, right? Um, and to intransigence is to meet it with love, and that's the theory behind civil nonviolent civil disobedience is exactly that, to kind of um, show the, for lack of a term, the loving, kind, softer aspect of human, and to help people access that within themselves as a way of melting their heart. That's the way maybe I would put it. But others might say, no, no, in the times like these, people need to be tough, right? And meet hardness with hardness. Um, I think we're probably going to move towards a direction that's a little bit integrated, even with that exercise you just did. But what would you say to that? People say, like, what do you mean be soft? We can't be soft now. This is not a time to be soft, right? We need to be
Yeah.
tough. We need to, right? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a false dichotomy. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that we default to the idea I saw in the comments that soft doesn't
Mm-hmm.
mean weak.
Mm-hmm.
Soft means open and listening and able to, be flexible and responsive, right? We know that in our bodies,
Right.
right? And so I don't think it's always appropriate. It's just not. I want to be clear. It's not appropriate to, if someone is bringing dangerous energy to you, it's not appropriate to soften to that,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And yet, what it can mean
Mm-hmm.
is that as you protect yourself in whatever way you need to, your heart can still stay open. Your heart can still think, this person
Mm-hmm.
is unable to feel compassion
Mm-hmm.
or concern or empathy. I wonder if I can. Not maybe not in that moment, maybe later,
Mm-hmm.
but the only person we're damaging is ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And my teacher in this is Eddie Hillesum. I'm going to put it in the chat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Eddie Hillesum was in her late 20s when the Nazis um, occupied Amsterdam, the Netherlands, and she eventually was sent to a work camp, a transit camp, Westerbork. And from that camp, where she was just a witness to such misery and fear, she said that she wanted to remain the thinking heart of the barracks and that she never wanted to just, you know, assume every German was evil. Like she just worked to keep her heart open, even in what feels like unimaginable,
Mm-hmm.
circumstances. Not in this very kind of like naive and um, unthinking way, the opposite, in this very conscious way of even as I'm watching what I'm watching, I would like my heart
Mm-hmm.
to stay open. And again, I don't know if it's possible, for me, for different people in different situations.
Mm-hmm.
But she's my example for what might be possible. What might be possible. And ultimately, I'll just say this as a last word on this for me. I think, as some people put in the chat, keeping an open heart is the way to the most skillful action. Instead of like, must harden, must fight back, must, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
if I can soften and feel like, oh, this feels terrible. I feel attacked.
Mm-hmm.
Am I safe? Am I
Mm-hmm.
actually safe?
Mm-hmm.
What is my best response here?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just flying off the handle and hitting or screaming, do I have the availability in my soft response to be able to say, this is unacceptable and not safe for me.
Right.
I'm going to leave. I mean, there's so many options that open up when mindfulness allows us to stay instead of fight, flight,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
freeze.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Beautifully said. Someone put in the chat, and I think it's a great way to just to summarize here. Evan and Lynn wrote, Chesed and Gevurah meet in Tiferet and heart, which is just to unpack that for a moment, right? So the Chesed is like unconditional, limitless love. Gevurah is the boundaries, that kind of, the energy to fight. And what we're talking about, so today, that would mean that today, this practice is really a Tiferet, heart-centered practice, which is associated with rachamim, with compassion, right? That integrates, the strength of Gevurah with the love of Chesed and holds both at the same time, so that the softness is a manifestation of strength, as people have been saying in the chat. Um, and it's a beautiful, just what you just presented, and Eddie Hillesum's example of that, I think, is a great, great example of the enormous gevura, the enormous strength, in that rachamim, in that compassion. And it's a big challenge for all of us, especially when we're so activated, as you said, Dorothy, or that fight, flight, freeze, all of them are on high alert these days. So what could be more important than this practice? So thank you so much for helping us soften up a little bit, maintain that open heart in the midst of so much that's happening. And it works best in community. So thanks everyone for being here and sharing in it. We'll look forward to practicing with Jordan Bendatapel tomorrow and with Benjamin Ross on Friday. Dorothy, be safe and well. Dorothy's off to teach at an IJS retreat for clergy next week. So we wish you much success and joy and blessing in that. And always grateful for your generous contributions as our teacher here in this space. Thanks so much, Dorothy. Thanks to each of you, and thanks to Rachel for holding us all together today. Many blessings, everyone. Take good care.